Kita baru saja habis bengkel selama 1 hari setengah yang telah membincangkan mengenai isu trafficking, ya, trafficking of women and children. So seperti mana kita sedia maklum, Malaysia telah adakan legislation Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act, ya, dan yang telah dikuatkuasakan pada bulan Februari tahun 2008. Jadi pada 2 hari ini kita telah bincang mengenai peranan human rights institutions, ya. Human rights institutions is badan
Asean human rights.
All the kita semua kita ada di sini 4 badan hak asasi manusia, ya, 4 national human rights institutions of Malaysia, that is Suhakam of Thailand, of Philippines and Indonesia. So kita telah bincang mengenai peranan national human rights institutions dalam isu bagaimana kita boleh mengatasi masalah trafficking of women and children, ya. So di antara kita pada semalam kita tukar pendapat dan fikiran apa masing-masing buat, ya, what each of the institutions do dan peranan mereka, dan lepas tu kita telah adakan bengkel bagaimana kita boleh lihat masalah kita dan apa kita patut buat untuk memperbaiki keadaan, ya. So pada hari ini kita membentangkan pendapat daripada bengkel dan juga telah membuat rumusan mengenai apa recommendation atau cadangan yang kita nak kemukakan kepada kerajaan atau di Malaysia kepada Majlis anti pemerdagangan orang, ya. Sebab in Malaysia we have a National Council for Anti-Trafficking that is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Yeah, so we made some recommendations today, and some of the recommendations will be addressed to the council, some to relevant ministries, and some to the human rights institutions so that we can work together. Yeah, and we also have our Mr. Hans Beckers from International Organization of Migration, because they also take care of repatriation, yeah, not only of refugees and traffickers, traffic victims, but also of migrants, etc., back to their countries. Some of the recommendations that we discussed was that we should have a very good prevention and awareness program, because it's better to prevent than to, take care, to allow a girl or child or woman or man to be trafficked and then to rescue and to do all the rehabilitation. So it's better to go on prevention. So we discussed today how we can talk about having a big national program for public awareness for the dangers of trafficking, and also to look into where the hotspots of trafficking are, so that we can look into these specialized or localized areas, and not forgetting Sabah and Sarawak too, so that we can go to these areas and really find out, how the process of trafficking occurs, and what education we can give to the young girls, to women, to the parents, and to the community, about the dangers of trafficking, to be careful of agents or people known to you that lure you for work or to go to a better life, when actual fact you're being cheated to be trafficked, yeah. So we want to go into all these areas. We also want to do public education to reduce the demand for trafficking, and if you are talking about sex trafficking, then it will be to reduce the need for the sex trade, yeah. So we have here to look at the customers or the people who frequent all the sex industry, yeah. So we want to also look at that. If we are talking about labor trafficking, then of course we have to do public education for the agencies that take in labor, whether it's local or foreign labor, and also all the subcontractors of the labor agencies, yeah. So prevention and awareness is a very big part of our discussion today. And the next one is on the law. So we need to look back at the anti-trafficking law in Malaysia and because there are some loopholes and there's some areas that we need to strengthen. So we also talk about the areas that need to be strengthened in the Act, and especially to look into victim support and protection, and to prepare the victims back for an integration back to their home, because we don't want just to send them without a preparedness program or without a reintegration program, because then they run the risk of being trafficked back into this country or into other countries again. So we need to look at all that. And we also talked about training of enforcement officers, that they need to be more capacity building and more training of enforcement officers, the police, the customs, the immigration, the maritime, etc. And also for training of the staff of the agencies, ministries, so that when you have the traffic victims, then you know how to take care of them and don't handle them as an offender, but really provide the service that you would need to give for a trafficked victim. We also discuss about the care and protection for the victims, that we need to have specialized counseling, people to be trained in specialized areas of counseling, because they're all emotional, very depressed, very traumatic, and so we need proper counseling and proper support, provide them with occupational therapy, provide them with facilities so that they can find back their families, etc.